Welcome to the Disneyland Beat, where our toes tap to a Disneyland drum.
And we always whistle while we work.
If you're planning a trip to Disneyland in the near future and are wondering if you should spend a day at LEGOLAND, this video's for you.
In this video, we tell you all about LEGOLAND in Carlsbad, California, and we give you our take on if it's worth that precious Disneyland trip time.
Come on into the parks with us.
Like, subscribe, and stick around.
Disneyland is your land.
Come seek an adventure at the old pirates, eh?
Make the jump to light speed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Hi, I'm Amy.
And I'm TC. During the first week of January, our Magic Keys were blocked out of Disneyland most of the week, but we had the time off, so we spent a day at LEGOLAND, the beach, as well as Knott's Berry Farm.
LEGOLAND is about a 65-mile drive south on I-5 from Disneyland. We stayed nearby Disneyland for our home base so we could go to downtown Disney as we wanted. However, Carlsbad and nearby Oceanside have plenty of affordable hotels, many of them within walking distance of the beach too. It takes about an hour to 90 minutes to make the drive.
Now there's also two large themed hotels at LEGOLAND, and they look really fun. They flank the entrance to the park on either side. They're not the deals they used to be. Costs now run from $200 to $300 a night, and there's a lot of cool upgrades and LEGO-themed suites that you can get as well. But you do get free breakfast, and there's nightly entertainment.
On our visit, it was a rainy, low-crowd, atmospheric river kind of day, and parking was easy, but it cost $27 to park for the day, despite the acres of empty spaces.
The main gate is really well done. It does a good job of building your excitement and your anticipation up as you enter the park. The average price for a ticket is $114, so it is quite a pricey outing, though it's on par with other major parks.
The park is relatively small, it's laid out fairly well, and within an hour or two we had a pretty good sense of our bearings. We walked around the entire park 3 times in a 4 to 5 hour trip, and in that time frame experienced every ride and show with only a few exceptions of a couple rides that didn't open due to weather.
There are 10 themed areas, and they're all well done, but they're mostly quite small, like on par with like half of Avengers Campus, or even much smaller like Town Square on Main Street, USA.
There's a Ninjago area, a medieval castle area, there is Explorer Island, Pirate Shores, and an area dedicated to the recent LEGO movies.
Overall, we really think this park is ideal for kids ages 3 to 10. Our son is now 9, and in another year or two, much of the magic of this place would have been lost on him. The other demographic that will want to experience this are those mega LEGO fans who really enjoy looking at massive LEGO sculptures. The park centers around Miniland USA, which has a couple acres worth of miniature towns.
TC has been to Madura Dam, the massive miniature theme park in Europe. He thought it was a really well done attraction. LEGO fans will love it, but by itself, I'm not sure it's worth the price of admission.
And if you do have kids in that 3 to 10 age range and they're getting tired of waiting in line at Disneyland, this might be a great choice for you, for the reason that your kids can get a ton of exercise, but you might be able to relax a bit. Every area has a large playground or climbing attraction. Often though they have LEGO names, they're really just large playground sets that you'd find at any nice park. So your kids can work out all that pent-up energy playing on the playgrounds, but again, it's a small park, so you're not going to do as much walking as you do at Disneyland, where a 10-mile day is not unusual.
Also worth a mention was Pharaoh's Revenge, a play area with air pressure tubes, blasters, and foam balls. It was really entertaining, and we had to drag Leander away from it after a good playtime.
Looking at the e-ticket attractions in the park, there were quite a few to experience that you can ride with your kids, and stylistically, they're all over the place. There's 3 roller coasters, but very few thrills, the most intense being a Wild Mouse-style coaster. A silly little coaster with a weird but fun first drop, Coastersaurus, and our favorite, the Dragon. Not for the thrills, but for the extended dark ride segment inside the castle looking at the LEGO scenes.
There were also a couple of small drop towers, one themed to Unikitty in the LEGO Movie World, and our favorite found in Duplo World, the little kid Legos, where you could pull yourself up and drop back down as you want to.
There's a couple dark rides. They're both interactive shooters. The Lost Kingdom adventure is a much slower and honestly much more boring version of Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters, but with real, actual targets, and the Ninjago ride is pretty much the same system as Web Slingers, more or less. Though we found it to be just a tiny bit less responsive than the Disney version, you're just using your hands, it was mostly on par, and it's probably our favorite dark ride in the park and the one that had the best queue.
Legoland does not have the level of storytelling you find at a Disney park, particularly when it comes to the queues. Most of them just slap some TVs up and don't do too much more to give you an effective pre-show that sets up the ride really well. Some employees in character operating the rides would go a long way.
One of the most impressive rides easily was the Lego City Deep Sea Adventure. It's a blend between Finding Nemo at Disneyland and the updated version of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea found at Japan's Tokyo Disney Sea. It has 12 passengers that can fit in a sub, and during the voyage you see underwater Lego structures with over 200 live fish and animals in the tank.
This ride was well done, shorter than the Disneyland version, and seemed to operate very efficiently. We saw waits grow up to 60 minutes for the most popular rides, even with the very low crowds on our rainy day. However, we should say that every wait was shorter than the forecasted time.
Legoland does offer a line-skipping service, which is purchased per ride per person based on demand pricing. It can be nice because you can just get the one ride you want, but if you're trying to ride all those on a busy day, we imagine that Genie Plus is a much cheaper and better service. That said, the one ride we tried this on, the Ninjago ride, cost us $9 per person, and we were on the ride in 2 to 3 minutes.
There are a fair amount of water features and 4 boat rides. One of them, Splash Battle, was only for the very brave on our cold day, but the other 3 were lazy rivers that go past large Lego sculptures. These were all charming. One of them you could steer, one of them was even narrated, though our skipper hilariously had no jokes and kept his spiel to a minimum in the rain. Cracked us up. They need to take some lessons from the Jungle Cruise skippers for sure.
Driving school reminded us just a little bit of the old Autopias at Disneyland that were just for the kids. No adults allowed. This attraction allows kids to drive wherever they want, and our son did a great job of following the rules of the road.
They even had an ambitious Soarin'-style ride set in the new Lego Movie World. The ride was okay, but failed to set up the experience with an effective pre-show, and the projectors on the ride itself seemed kind of blurry. But the motion was fun, and there were several scents to experience on our journey.
Another thing that we really liked was that there were a handful of walk-through attractions. Some just themed to exotic Lego locales. Some showed you Lego artisans at work in their impressive Lego workshops, and one contained many of the Lego sets from the hit Lego movies. They had a challenge for you to find the 4 Emmets in the room, which we had a blast doing.
Most of the park had outdoor seating and eateries, but at Fun City we found a very nice indoor space where we could get hot dogs or chicken tenders for youngsters and a lovely curry or steak sub for us. It was a nice lunch, and as you might expect, the room was filled with amazing Lego sculptures.
There is a Sea Life aquarium on site, and that's an international commercial aquarium chain. And it has an additional cost, and we did not experience it, though I'm sure it would fill out the day, as again, our 10-year-old was ready to go after 4 to 5 hours.
Though we did so unintentionally, this is a good park to get wet at. There are some splash features and a large water park with a separate admission. The Lego theming works really well with the water park somehow. This would really make a full day for families with young kids, and it would likely give your teenagers something to do as well, as they might be too cool for much of the rest of the park.
So, again, is it worth it to add on Legoland to your Disneyland trip? Well, if you drove or you rented a car, and you fit into the niche of having kids in that 3 to 10-year-old range, and you want them to experience this park before they age out of it, and they need an exercise day, or if you're just a huge Lego sculpture fan, then yes.
Otherwise, this feels more like something for those who can day trip it, in our opinion, of course. It's a lot of money to spend for a half-a-day park, and one that would have cost more for us to continue at, be it the aquarium or the water park. If you do come, we would suggest coming during warmer weather when the water park is open. It looks like it would add a lot to the day.
But adding on one more day at Disneyland with a multi-day ticket would be a much more cost-effective move. And comparing the experience of a day at Disneyland to a day at Legoland, even if it's your 3rd or 4th day at Disneyland, well, there just isn't one. Disneyland wins, hands down. It's nice ambiance, but there's virtually no rides, shows, or films at Legoland that we wanted to repeat.
We are glad we experienced it, but it also reminded us why we love Disneyland all the more.
Well, that's it for today. We hope this was helpful.
May the light in the firehouse window always shine brightly, and may your dreams always come true.
See you real soon, Mouseketeers. Honey, where am I?